and welcome to this week's review of Ocean's 13, starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Showtime.
This is a night people will talk about as long as there's a Las Vegas. I got the hottest new hotel on the strip.
Okay then.
Where's the partner's desk gonna be?
Oh, no partner's desk. You're out.
What are you gonna do, throw me off the roof?
Well, I don't want to.
He hurt Ruben. I know what that makes me want to do.
I don't care if it gets messy.
I'll drive you, get him leaving his barber.
And I'll inject him.
And I'll find a spot to get rid of the body.
All valid ideas. Great initiative. But
It's a reverse big store,
doesn't matter if we win, as long as the casino loses.
which means that we have to rig craps, blackjack, slots, and roulette, all in our favor.
Jeez, could you make it any more complicated?
Okay.
Can't be done.
We don't have the manpower.
Time.
Or a way in.
I was actually in Las Vegas for the premiere of Ocean's 13, and I'll upload a few videos from Las Vegas when I get a chance. As everyone knows, this is the third installment of the Ocean series, and I must say that I really liked the first movie, and I didn't really care for the second one that much at all. I thought the whole Julia Roberts impersonating Julia Roberts was just dumb. It was probably one of the worst movie decisions that I can even remember. I think this can happen when popular and powerful people get a little overconfident. And if the Rat Pack taught us one thing, is that if you are a star and you have an ego that can handle sharing the spotlight with other big stars, you can really catch lightning in a bottle. I'm sure there are a lot of actors that would love to get in this franchise, maybe just for bragging rights. Maybe it's kind of like being accepted in the in crowd. Ocean's 13 doesn't stray away from the original formula that the previous two films followed. This is an elaborate heist film just like the other two. And the series did a good job recovering from the second film, which was by far the weakest installment. And I just wonder how long they can keep this going. I'm not sure how many movies that are based solely on a heist/con premise can be made with the same characters. This movie also makes you have to suspend reality and make you think that all these ultra-charismatic people are actually criminals with endless genius and ungodly budgets to pull off these heists. But just like any other movie franchise, if it makes money, they'll be sure to make more of them. The casting is excellent. Great actors in damn near every role. A real who's who of A-list actors, with some other actors that maybe aren't as well known, but were a good fit for this movie. And I've always liked Scott Conn and Casey Affleck's characters best, along with Don Cheadle. In this franchise, Clooney and Pitt always come across as a little bit too arrogant, but this is pretty much the roles they need to play for the part, and I must say that not having Julia Roberts in this movie was a nice change in casting. I liked her in the first movie, but in the second one, it just didn't seem to work as well. And this allows the movie to focus more on the heist and not the played-out love story with her character. And I don't know if she turned down the role or was not offered it. It really doesn't matter to me. But I do believe that she wanted too much money, so they just cut her part out. And I do think it worked out much better without having this aspect for this film. The acting is also pretty good, nothing Oscar-worthy, whatever that means, but nothing to really take away from the film. And some parts are a bit over the top, and the disguises, look pretty much ridiculous, especially Brad Pitt's earthquake seismograph getup. I mean, could he look any more fake? And yes, I guess this is what they were going for, but the whole time I was looking at it, I was like, are you kidding me? Could he look any more ridiculous? And again, I know this is what they were going for, but I don't see why it had to be so blatantly fake looking. All I kept thinking was this was real life. Pacino's character would have just walked over and ripped that sorry mustache off his face and had him beaten to a pulp. The plot is along the same lines as the previous two films. This one doesn't have any real pacing issues, and the movie does move along at a pretty good clip, so I never really felt bored during the film. I'm not sure how long they can keep making the Ocean's franchise. It's going to be hard to keep coming up with new Vegas heist ideas that really work. I think this one will be a good one to end on, but with all the star power and success these have had, I don't think we've seen the end of this franchise. Unless both Clooney and Pitt won't continue their roles, I think they could lose one of them and keep it going, but not both. They're very fortunate to have had Steven Soderbergh for all three films. He's an excellent director, and for him to stay with this series gives it the best possible chance for success. I've always liked most of his movies, especially Aaron Brockovich in the Academy Award-winning movie, Traffic. The one thing that did bug me a little bit about this movie was all the terms they were using, like the Susan B. Anthony, the Brody, the Irwin Allen, the Billy Martin, or the Gilroy, to name a few. I like the names they were using and the concept of them, and I know they can't walk us through everything, but how is everyone supposed to know all these industry terms they're using? I knew some of them, but others I had no idea what they meant. I know it has to be difficult to slip explanations of every scam into the movie, but they could have done a little bit better job of showing the scam name and how it worked instead of just throwing the names in the movie alone. The ending of Ocean's 13 was good, nothing spectacular, but it was sufficient. It was not like the first one where there was a nice little twist in the end, and actually the second one had a little better twist than this one. But this movie as a whole was far better than Ocean's 12, even though the reveal in that one was a little bit better. Overall, I enjoyed the movie, and I recommend it to anyone who liked either of the first two. This one was not as good as the first, but it was a lot better than the second installment. It's a good time, and even though this may not be one of the best movies of the summer, it is safe to say that you should feel like you got your money's worth should you decide to check it out. From overall rating, I give Ocean's 13 3.5 stars.
That's what you don't want.